Let me just walk you over here. It is nighttime here in Seoul, Korea, where I have been for the past couple days now, here on the LG Media Tour. So I've been using the Optimus G now for, about 6-7 hours. I don't remember. So let's actually do a little walkthrough here. This thing is nice. I mean, that's the general consensus of all of us who are here in Korea. So you know the specs by now. 1.5 gigahertz Qualcomm Snapdragon S4 Pro, aka Crate. So this is the quad-core one, right? Really, really fast. It's also got 2 gigabytes of RAM. So tooling through the UI, this is as smooth as anything we have ever seen on Android, I think. Now, the LG... two things about this phone. One is the hardware, right? So obviously the hardware is a big deal. The form factor is a big deal because it's very, very thin. It's not the thinnest we've seen. It's 8.45 millimeters, so 8.5 millimeters thick. But it feels really, really thin. It is not bad. I could almost stand another millimeter or so, maybe just for a little more battery, especially because it's non-removable, 2100 milliamp hours. But it's not bad. So we've been pushing this thing hard all day. So we need to do better battery tests. But so far, it's okay. I can't impress enough upon you how fast this is. So here's the UI. This is LG's new UI, and this is the other big thing they're talking about, is the user experience. So actually, one of the first things I want to show you is the lock screen. I really am quickly falling in love with lock screens. You know how I like to do that. So it's very reminiscent of Samsung's, actually. And you actually have a few ways of doing the lock screen. One is kind of the water effect that Samsung has. This is not it, though. You can switch to that in the settings, and it's very much like Samsung's. But this is the one I want to show you. This is the one that's there by default. And you get kind of a little peep-eye view into whatever it is that you are unlocking to. So we're unlocking to the home screen, and you can see the home screen there. If you locked the phone while you were in an app, that's what you'll see. So this is very cool. And, of course, you have little icon shortcuts down at the bottom so you can open up into the camera or the phone or whatever you put there. So those are customizable. I put Gmail and Facebook just to put them on there. So if you want to open the camera, you pull the camera up, and hey, look, we're in the camera. The camera also is a big deal. So it's a 13 megapixel camera. That will vary by market a little bit depending on where this phone comes out. So if you end up with an 8 megapixel camera, oh no, it's still an 8 megapixel camera. The other thing about the camera is look how flat that is against the device, so it's not sticking out much at all. The back of this is actually done up. It's smooth, it's glossy. We're not really supposed to say it's glass, but it's smooth and glossy and flat, so be that as it may. It's got a really cool kind of crystallized checkerboarded sort of texture underneath that. So it looks like when you touch it, you're going to feel all sorts of stuff, but it's flat and glossy and really nice. Volume rocker on the side, SIM card slot. Power button is on the side, much like a Samsung phone. 3.5 millimeter headphone jack up top. Microphone. Proper micro USB down at the bottom, so that's a good deal. So here's the gallery. There's our Mexican dinner tonight. And a whole bunch of features in this device. We're not going to go through them all right now. We've got plenty of time left to do that. The camera is a big deal. Trust me when I say this. We've been testing this out here in Seoul all day. A whole bunch of apps on here. I'm not really going to bother going through them because a lot of them are Korean in nature, and I wouldn't understand them if I knew what I was doing. One thing we do have, let's see if I can do it without pulling up the antenna, is we do have Korean TV on here, which is awesome. So we've done this before with Korean phones that we've had in the States, right? They'll have an antenna that we pull up. The antenna's tucked in here. But obviously they don't work in the States. But here in Korea, we get TV just fine. Pretty cool. So all in all, I mean, we're going to be looking at this to come out in the States eventually. It'll be in Europe. Don't know when, don't know what the names will be, but very much looking forward to this phone. Anything else we want to show you? You know, there's a lot to do, a lot of cool features. So they have Q Memo, which is sort of just do whatever you want to on top of the UI. You can take notes, so it's kind of a note-taking app, right? They have a bunch of cool sharing features. They have one really good one. We'll get into that later when we have TVs and cool stuff, where you can actually, instead of picture-in-picture, you will say be watching a video, and then you need to send a text, and the video will blur into the background.